There's two Saitamas? Saitama sneeze nearly blows up Jupiter. Dude, look at this shot. What is going on here? And apparently, Saitama can fly in space by farting. Yes, you heard that right. He can fly in space and he can breathe in space. And this fight is finally over. Garo is defeated. We got time travel in this chapter. I mean, whoa, so much to talk about here. I think the arc is done. I think it's finally over. A climactic, crazy final battle here. And we got to see some of the power scaling between Saitama and Garo, and I just love everything about this. We got a lot to talk about. That's coming up right after this. Today's video is sponsored by ExpressVPN, the #1 VPN right now. And if you don't know what a VPN is, it's a program you can run on your phone or your computer or tablet or pretty much any device, which will protect you from spies who use your data. And it's very important to use a VPN while you're traveling. It will protect you from hackers who try to steal your personal information and see what you're viewing online, like your bank account. And I love ExpressVPN. I've used a lot of them in the past. ExpressVPN seems to be the only one that doesn't slow down your internet speed, and it just turns on whenever you come into a Wi-Fi area and you connect. ExpressVPN right there is on, taking care of you. It's super simple to use. All you have to do is hit a button and boom, you're connected. And something else that's great about VPNs is you can use them to access restricted content on certain platforms like Crunchyroll or Netflix or any website that blocks regions specifically. You can just use a VPN to switch your location and access them anyway. Find out how you can get 3 months free of ExpressVPN by going to expressvpn.com/Mastar or just click that link in the description down below. Okay, so at the end of the last chapter, we were questioning, did Saitama take damage? It looked like he was spitting up blood, and the answer to the question is no. I guess it was just spit. At least Saitama didn't make any reference to him actually taking any damage or feeling any pain, because after they connected those punches, Garo comes in for another punch, and Saitama just like literally does the limbo, dodges it, and then uses Garo's hyperspace gate to throw a punch and just punch the living daylights out of Garo. Now Garo is still using these hyperspace gates. He comes through one and he throws down this martial arts kick down onto Saitama's head, and Saitama returns with a blow into his gut. And there's still a lot of really good combat in this chapter. It's not just like, you know, a couple punches or one punch and it's over. Like, this is still primarily a full combat chapter, and they're trading a lot, but you can see that Saitama is winning. Saitama blasts off this rock and does this insane like karate chop into the back of Garo's neck. I don't know how in the hell this guy is surviving. Like, honestly, the amount of hits of serious Saitama that this guy took is actually like really crazy. Like, I might have to make a video about it another day, because I mean, yes, he did lose in this chapter, but it's kind of unbelievable how much he survived. Even after the karate chop, he gets up and uppercuts Saitama into the stomach. And I mean, that looks like insanely powerful, but Saitama returns it with an uppercut of his own right under Garo's chin. And I love what Murata did here. He gave us like this power scaling graph and basically showed that, you know, Saitama was like maybe twice the strength of Garo. Garo was like, I'm gonna keep copying Saitama until I can overcome his power. And even though Garo is going up by copying Saitama's serious mode, Saitama is just rocketing past him off the charts because he has no limits. And this is the most serious we've ever seen Saitama in the series, with the exception of the Subterraneans. And that was just a dream. So at this point, even though Garo is like growing and getting stronger and stronger and competing with Saitama, Saitama is just like, he's just infinite, right? Like, he is just unlocking more and more levels of his powers and capabilities, and it's pretty awesome to see, to be honest. Like, I love this, and I love that we actually got like a power scaling graph. I mean, that's just so cool. Like, what anime actually does that? I wish Dragon Ball would do that. And Saitama gets so strong to the point where Garo throws a punch and Saitama just simply catches it. And you know, at this point, like, the fight is over. Like, so I don't know what the explanation is for Saitama. Like, you know, he's not holding back. He's getting stronger, but is he just like unleashing more of his godlike potential, his limitless potential as the fight goes on? It's a pretty accurate depiction here. I mean, Murata did a really good job showing that Saitama has zero limits, and as he starts, you know, engaging into that territory, like, doesn't matter how powerful you are, you can't beat him, period. Regardless, I think it's really awesome how even though he's just a simple parody character that can't be defeated, we still got this insane boss battle that lasted so many chapters, and we got to see Saitama pushing himself farther and farther. I mean, he's not really pushing himself, he's more so just unlocking more and more of his limitless potential as the fight progressed, but it was still like just such an insanely cool fight, especially to see a parody character actually go up against a super powerful villain like this. Okay, and so Saitama like catches Garo's hand and then goes in for this, I don't know if it's a serious sneeze or if he just actually sneezed by accident, but we get this series of double page shots here from Murata that are just absolutely breathtaking, and this sneeze like hits Jupiter, and then you get this shot of like just the whole outer sphere of Jupiter just blowing off from Saitama's sneeze. I mean, this shot is just freaking insane, dude. And you even got like the moon of Jupiter Io there, like all crumbly, and then just this massive like marble inside the planet, probably like iron or some sort of like, you know, there's probably some sort of, I'm sure Murata did his research, but he's taking us out into space, man. I mean, this is really cool stuff. Okay, so at this point, Garo like pushes himself into Saitama and keeps throwing punches, and he actually lands one on Saitama's face. And the result of this serious punch on a Saitama, Garo, I guess, like uses the explosion as a shockwave to propel him back to Earth. So this is how they get back to Earth. He uses a hyperspace gate. I guess he's able to just teleport all the way to Earth. I mean, Blast can do it, right? So I guess why not Garo? But I think the explosion kind of helped propulse him like back to Earth. But anyways, yeah, this is how they get back to Earth. And Saitama follows him, and Garo's like, I did it, I beat him, you know, I left him on the, you know, in Jupiter, like he'll never be able to get back. And Saitama's right behind him, right? He just followed him through the gate. Now, at this point, Garo tries to escape through another hyperspace gate, and Saitama literally just farts, and it just like rockets him after Garo. So this is really interesting. Actually, a friend of mine, an animator, eToyLike1, he's been doing this just absolutely incredible Goku vs Saitama animation, and he just released his trailer for the third part of it, and they're fighting out in space. I left a comment, I was like, this is perfect timing because we know Saitama can fight in space, he doesn't have to breathe out in space, and he can fly essentially just simply by farting. So Saitama can fly, dude. Like, he could just fart his way around. This is actually real, man. I mean, the feats for both Saitama and Garo just continue to go up and up, like every single chapter. It's just unbelievable, like how far Murata has pushed this, and there's nothing like it. And there's nothing like One Punch Man, dude. Saitama comes in, huge fist into Garo's face. I mean, his face is protruding inward, and rockets him down into Earth. And this finally seems to shatter off the god from Garo, but I think he still infused some of the power, but he at least broke off like the face shell, because now we get to finally see Garo's face underneath all of this. And that's when Garo sees Terrio, who's dead. I guess it took him getting like the god face shattered off him for him to finally realize and come to and see dead Terrio, and realize that, you know, the boy is dead that he has been looking after for so long. So he starts like crying and everything. He has this dialogue with Saitama, and then he does something. He like rewinds time. So it seems like he uses all of his power and all of his energy. It must have something to do with, you know, the understanding of the universe. He can like, you know, figure out a way to like rewind time, or at least for like one person. And he uses all of his power to send Saitama back in time. And what he's telling Saitama to do, I mean, he's finally come to, and he's like telling Saitama to like kick his butt in the past so Terrio won't die. And in doing so, Garo turns into like stone or sand or something like that. He used up like all of his life energy for this move, this rewind time. And so literally, like if you guys know the Flash, there's something in it called the Speed Force, and that's how the Flash can actually travel through time. And this looks almost identical to the Speed Force. It's just like this, you know, wave of energy, and you can see various points in different like timelines, and essentially Flash can like jump out into one. And that's what's happening here. Saitama is seeing all of the points of their battle so far, and then he eventually sees God Garo, and he just punches him in the face. And this is the God Garo that had just looked up and thanked God for giving him the power. And it looks like Saitama just literally just one-shot him here. And with this final 2 double pages in a row, it looked like it's a very, like, you know, finale, final punch sort of deal. You know, Murata's telling us that it's game over. And this one punch, I guess because Garo, this version of him, hadn't like copied Saitama's serious mode a lot, his power level is still relatively low, so this one punch from Saitama just completely messed him up. I mean, smoke's coming out of his face and he's like screaming and everything. It seems like his god face got shattered off, and I guess that's the end of Garo here. Maybe Saitama will explain to him, you know, what happened, but so there's 2 Saitamas, and what's happening here is the naked one from the future is like merging with the one from the present day. This is like time travel theory. Yeah, this is the direction Murata wanted to go with. You can see Saitama's body getting pulled out and basically just sucked into the other Saitama, and they fuse essentially. And for some reason in doing so, it put a hole right in Saitama's crotch. He looks down, he's like, ah, my dick's hanging out. Now, Genos had been flying in to headbutt into Garo, you know, before he died and everything. And because Garo got knocked out, Genos instead flew into Saitama, and that's where the chapter ends. So I think the next chapter will probably be like a cleanup chapter and end the arc altogether. I'm assuming Garo, you know, will go his own way. He is supposed to survive based on the webcomic, and this way everybody's alive. Blast is going to be the only one that really knows exactly what happened in the Galactic Cadre, but Blast still, there's that Blast from the future. Can he travel back in time? Is he still aware of how strong Saitama is? Is this going to erase his memory as well? Because Blast is supposed to appear here, and I guess because Saitama knocks Garo out, or breaks off the god shell from his face, Blast isn't going to show up now. So I guess in this timeline, Blast doesn't know how strong Saitama is, which is Murata's way of essentially being like, the god arc isn't going to be for quite a long time. I mean, Blast needs to know how strong Saitama is in order to recruit him for the God arc, and now that's not going to happen. So I guess they're not trying to end the series quickly, and after this, it's going to continue with the webcomic continuity, getting into the Neo heroes and everything else like that. But overall, I mean, this, like, Murata just gave us everything we wanted. Like, another 10 out of 10 chapter over and over and over and over again, maybe 6 chapters in a row. Absolutely mind-blowing work, and I don't know what else to say, man. I loved it. I'm sad the fight is over. Like, you know, part of me really wanted God to give Garo more power and, you know, have that fight continue, because we waited so long for it, but boy did Murata deliver. It's just amazing. I do have a fan animation coming up of when Genos dies and Saitama gets serious, so be on the lookout for that. Gonna try and get it out by this weekend. Also, if you're interested in a Demon Rush t-shirt, I have these for sale, as well as these beautiful Omni Goku and Vegeta posters. You probably can't tell on the camera, but these are holographic and they shift. Like, they're 3D posters. They're absolutely beautiful, dude. Very limited quantity. Also have Lucifer from Demon Rush. This is also available, limited quantity. Same thing, holographic. There's multiple layers to it, and it's just, this stuff is so sick. So I have we got a lot of new products on shop.demonrush.com. Link will be in the description and pinned to top comment as well. Support your boy. Buy a t-shirt and a poster. I'd love you for it. Thanks for coming to watch the video. Check out ExpressVPN with my link, and I'll see you on the next one.